Hello everybody, this is Jolie, and in this video we're going to be talking about fear, that four-letter word that just cripples us and stops us from living our best life. And in this video I also wanted to share my tips on how to overcome fear. Better understand it and how to overcome it so that we can move forward. So before I dive into that, if it's the first time that you're looking at one of my videos, my name is Julie Cloutier. I'm the owner and founder of an amazing business called Empower Yourself, where I help women change their lives. I help them transition into a better life. I help them get over whatever it is that's no longer serving them so that they can live life on their terms. And I've been doing this for several years now. And so these tips I'm about to share with you, I have shared with many of my clients and they've had amazing results. So let's talk about this fear thing. So personally, I've gotten over so many fear blocks. It's crazy how life just brings you face to face with your fears. And it does that because you're supposed to evolve. You're not supposed to just, come here to pay your bills and die. I mean, that would be one boring life, and that's not the life that I choose to have at all. But there was a time where, my life was not what I wanted it to be. I was miserable. I was frustrated. I was even depressed. And, I would look around and look at all these other women who were living this crazy lifestyle, this amazing lifestyle where they were happy, and that wasn't me. And for a while, I kind of settled, and I started thinking, well, maybe this is my life. But it's like there's that intuition, right? That little voice inside of our head that keeps saying, you deserve more. I mean, there's got to be something better out there for me. And so when it came to making changes, like I said, life just didn't give me any choices. And one of the examples that I like to use when I'm talking about fear and how to overcome it is how I was in this really crazy relationship where there was verbal abuse, emotional abuse. I mean, my ex was on drugs. He was spending our money like crazy, pathological liar. And here I was trying to make this relationship work. And we were together for 7 years. And, after a while, I mean, here I was thinking I was the savior and I could help him be a better person. And if I only loved him enough, if I only did this or that enough, then he would change. But he didn't. And I had to face that. And I was just kind of going down this downward spiral, and started becoming, very stressed out, very miserable. I had gained a bit of weight. My face was just breaking out all the time in hives, and I was just not happy. And so, I went to seek some help. I started reading some books, and I went to see a therapist, and she helped me a lot to a certain point, but then it was up to me. I mean, um, knowledge is great, but if you don't apply it, then it's useless. And it took me a year to finally leave this guy, but I did. And it took me a year because I was so afraid. I was afraid of so many things. I was afraid that nobody was ever going to love me. Who was going to want me? I mean, I was going to be damaged goods. Was I ever going to have a family? I was 29 at the time, and everyone around me was either engaged, married, or had children. So that was one of my big fears. People were going to judge me. That was another one of my big fears, that, that was going to be a failure. And that's why it took me so long, you know. And that's what I don't want for any of you. I don't want it to take you years and years to finally move forward and to cross that bridge, because I'll tell you something. On the other side of fear is bliss. I mean, it's a whole new other world. I mean, there's these opportunities, and you don't see these options or these opportunities right now because you're stuck in this fog, right? This fog of fear. I mean, I couldn't see it at the time, but once I did cross that bridge, my God. I mean, today I am living an amazing life. I mean, I have this man who just adores me, and I have two beautiful children. I have a beautiful dog. We're living here, if you can see behind here. We're living in Kuujjuaq, Quebec, and I have the tundra as my backyard. And we're living the Nordic lifestyle right now. This is what we wanted for our family, and we made it happen. I'm homeschooling my children as well. This is something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm doing it, and I'm actually getting paid for it. I mean, this is crazy because at the time we weren't even sure how we're going to pull it off at first. I mean, how are we going to do this? And on top of this, I mean, I'm getting paid for it. I mean, bonus. And that's what happens when you let go of fear. That's what happens when you get out of your own way. Things happen and the universe just supports you. So, how can you get over these fears? I'm sure that you have some. The first thing that I strongly suggest, and this is what I ask my clients to do, is to come face to face with them. You don't ignore them, don't run away from them, please don't. Come face to face with them, write them down, okay? And once you write them down, ask yourself this question: is this mine? Is this my fear? I mean, does it belong to me, or was it programmed into me? Was it instilled into me by my parents, by friends, family, society, TV shows, movies? I mean, a whole media, you know. And I'm telling you, 99% of the time, it's not even your fear. And it could even be a life experience. Maybe, you got bitten by a dog when you were 5 years old, and today you're just fearful of dogs because of that life experience. Now that's a simple example, but you know where I'm getting at, right? So you've got to really ask yourself, is this really mine? Is this my fear? And then what you have to do is take a look at this fear. And then you write down, well, okay, what happens if all of these things are actually true? So, for example, let's take my life experience when I was thinking of leaving my husband at the time. Let's say I wrote down, well, I'm never going to have any kids. My fear is that I'll never have a family. All right, so I remember looking at that and saying, okay, so let's say that really happens, that I don't end up with children. What would my life look like? And I started writing things down. Well, okay, maybe I'll travel more. Maybe I'll have more time to spend with my family and my friends. Maybe I'll be able to get into charity work, or maybe I'll be able to adopt a few homeless dogs, And I started making these lists, and my life didn't look so bad after that. I mean, it wasn't maybe exactly what I wanted, but it wasn't going to be horrible. And there's something that happens when you start doing that. It shifts. And it's like that the fear that you once had is not as prominent. It starts dissipating a bit. And when that fear starts dissipating, then that's where the fog lifts and you start seeing things. And for me, what I started seeing is that life is not that scary. And I started seeing more and more women around my age, around 29, 30s, and they were doing it. I mean, they had left their husband and they had found somebody else, or they were living a great life. And it kind of gave me that empowerment that I needed, that I've got this, because we all have the power within us, to create what it is that we want. So number one is write down your fear. Really come face to face with it. Ask yourself, is it mine or is it somebody else's? And then start dissecting it. Start playing that whole game of what if, and you'll see things will start flipping around, and those fears will just they won't look as bad. They won't look as scary as they once did. So hopefully this video has helped you in some sort of way. Please comment below. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you have any comments. You can like the video and share it to whoever you think might enjoy this or benefit from this. And you can also take a look at my Facebook page, and I also have a group that you can join. So just take a look at the link down below the video. I'll provide all of that information for you. So like I always say, always forward, never back. That's how we should live our life. Until next time.